welcome to GDO TV's Firm the Flab segment 3. This time Daryl Barrett's going to be taking us through some ab exercises that will firm up your midsection and give you some nice tone and support.
Okay, so Tim's going to show us a reverse crunch. Now you get offered asked at the gym, hey look, how do I isolate my lower abs? Well, there aren't such things as lower abs. Your abs or rectus abdominis are two bands. You can't truly isolate the upper and lower portion of it, but you can emphasise different portions of them. So if you want to feel it from your belly button down, to emphasise that area, you want to do some move that brings your pelvis towards your ribs. And one of your abs functions is to round your pelvis towards your ribs. So we're going to do a reverse crunch. It's a good place to start. So Tim, if we're going to get you to start there with your feet up at 90 degrees, and what you do is contract your abs to start off with, so make sure that there's some tension on there. You're just going to use it to squeeze your pelvis up towards your ribs, and then slowly down. What you notice here, guys, is that Tim's rounding your tailbone and pelvis about 2 or 3 inches up off the mat. That's as far as you need to go. If you go much higher, a lot of momentum helps you with the reverse crunch. You end up swinging. So it's a small range of motion with ab work, but it's quality over quantity. And basically what's happened here is her abs are pulling her pelvis towards her ribs, which rounds her back. That's the function that you want. We're looking for, beginners might struggle to do one, but if you think you've got a fairly strong core, you could start between 12 and 20 of those reverse crunches. As long as the tempo is nice and slow, you should be looking for about a 2 and 2 tempo, which is a 2 count up and a 2 count down. If you want to make it harder, go slower or do more, or have shorter rest between your sets. Okay, so Tim's going to show us a Swiss ball 3-way crunch. It's one I use with clients. This exercise, guys, is a way to get a lot of work done for your abs in a short period of time. Most people would have access to a Swiss ball. What we're going to be doing is a rotational crunch for your obliques, followed by another rotational crunch to the other side, and then a conventional crunch. That's our 3-way crunch. So Tim's going to show us here. Her feet are nice and wide. It's a good stable base. She's about mid-position down the ball. The further you walk back on the ball, the harder it is. The further you go forward, the easier it is. Now what we're aiming to do is Tim's going to try to keep about a fist or a peach-sized space between her chin and her chest. And the first one is she's going to come across her body, crunch across, then slowly back down. Good. And then cross the opposite side. That's it. And then a straight crunch. You're looking up nice and high, keeping that space between your chin and your chest. Good. Other points here, guys, is you don't want your pelvis dipping and rolling. As you can see, Tim's got quite a nice, quiet lower body there. You don't want your pelvis dipping or pushing up or twisting. Try to keep your lower body nice and quiet or nice and still. Remember to breathe out as you come across and lift, squeeze, come down and across. Other key points when you're doing ab exercises, guys, and it's overlooked, is try to maintain tension on your abs the whole time. Even in this position, they should be tight. If you let them go, you're only getting half a rep. It really is a case of less is best. As long as you're keeping good form and good tension in your abs throughout the set, try and never let them fully relax while you're doing your crunchies. How's that feeling to Tim?
It's hard.
Yeah. Now beginners might want to go for 5 to 6 on each side. So a total of about 15 reps. As you get more advanced, you can build up to 12, which will give you about 36 reps. Other key point, guys, is never lever your neck or pull your neck. Your hands are just there to lightly support your neck. That's the one. How'd that feel?
It was working.
Another little trick.
We've been working out.
As you can see here, guys, your Tim's got a nice straight line through her body. Really works your deep abdominals and your lower back muscles. Just relax your neck there and just keep it in one position, Tim. Okay, this one works your deep core, which is really important for your posture, especially if you're at a desk all day. It's a lot harder move than it looks like, guys. If you do have existing lower back trouble, once again, consult your trainer or physician before you start that one. But it's really beneficial. It's a bridging move. There's no movement involved. What happens is these deep transit abdominals, the deep slow of your stomach muscles, they act like a corset and they brace your posture in everyday living. So every time you pick an object up, they engage. Every time you sit in a chair with good posture, they engage. So if you find you experience lower back pain, a good way to improve it is to work your transverse abdominals. Okay, it's a good way to reduce back pain and bring up that core strength. We're going to move on to another move called a side plank, which is working the obliques in the inside of your sides there. Okay, the next one we're going to get to Tim to show us is a side plank. It's similar to your prone holder plank that we did previously. This one works your obliques, which is sort of the muscles that stabilise your core laterally. If you're into sports like running or any sports, hockey, soccer, that involve running, stability, lateral movement, having good strong core, especially in your obliques, is really important. With running, it's going to minimise your sideways movement, which means you run more effectively. So if you're doing some time on the treadmill and want to get the most out of it, having good strong obliques and a good core is really effective and important for your sports. What Tim's going to do here is lie on his side, feet on top of each other in a nice straight line, so with an elongated body. Your floor bound elbow basically is underneath your shoulder. We push up to a bridging position. I'm going to push up into a point where my ankle, knee and hip are in a straight line, and then I'm going to put that hand on my hip and hold that position. So I'm just going to try that, Tim. It really works that bottom oblique. That's good, you've got a nice straight line there. Just quieten your neck down, keep your abs engaged. Time-wise, guys, you may only start at 10 seconds on this one. As you advance, you can add a couple of seconds each workout. Hopefully get up to a stage you can do 30 to 40 seconds and then you're doing really well. We won't put your temp through too much more, give it another 10. That's it, trying to really keep that body quiet. Good, you should be able to feel it at that bottom. And obviously, guys, what you do is have a quick rest and then repeat that on the other side. Balancing out your core strength is really important. So what you do on one side, obviously you do on the other side as well. Once again, if you do have pain in rotation or lateral movement in your back, it's one you'd approach with caution. I'm not saying you'd exclude it, but just be careful if you've got lumbar back problems with these bridging moves. They're really beneficial and they will make your back stronger, but you also don't want to irritate an existing injury. Okay guys, the next one Tim's going to show us, it's the last in a bunch of 5 ab exercises for today. It's once again, it's working your deep core muscles, the muscles in the front there, your transverses that brace your spine, but it's also going to help activate your lower back muscles, your lumbar spine. They work in tandem as a corset that protects your lower back. So once again, they eliminate unwanted movement. So if you find your back has a tendency to arch or flatten, what they do is they help preserve that natural posture, which we call spinal neutral. So we're going to try to work on that today. And so Tim, we'll get you to slide the flat of your hands in under your back. Bring your knees and feet together. And I want you just to lift them up to 90 degrees. Okay, so that's where you're at starting point, guys. Now from here, if you take a breath in, as you breathe out, I want you to draw your belly button in and up and towards your spine, so just you're hollow in your abs. Now I want to keep that hollow throughout the exercise. You should notice there's a little bit of pressure on the back of your hands. Okay, that's your back just flatten into them. Now your goal is to keep your tummy in and the pressure on your hands the same through the movement. And what I want you to do is just one leg at a time, is just lower a heel to the ground. Yep. And then come back up, keeping the abs hollow. That's it. And that's the tempo you want, guys. You'll always know if people are doing this exercise incorrectly, if they're rushing it. It's very difficult to do it at pace. We're looking for about a 3-second lower and a 3-second lift. And what the aim is to do is those muscles into Tim's core, her lower back and stomach, are contracting and bracing so that her back doesn't flatten and arch off her hands. In essence, the pressure on her hands should be very similar, preferably the same pressure through the whole set. So it's one that's all about quality over quantity and it's done nice, slow and controlled. The most important thing, guys, if you're having trouble with your breathing, always be breathing. It's better than holding your breath. If you want to know a little bit more about that, then just see your trainer at your gym about correct breathing for most exercises. Good. Okay. That's it, then we can bring them down. Good work. Cool.
Thanks so much, Daryl, for your time today. That ab segment closes our Firm the Flab segments. Remember to check out our other Firm the Flab segments where Daryl took us through some great exercises for your bums and thighs and your arms. Keep up your good exercise work at home.